Jasmine revolution against corruption, poverty and political repression finally ended the long rule of dictatorial strongman President Zena al-Abidin Ben Ali and helped spawn the so-called Arab Spring right across the Middle East after being elected with a landslide majority in 2019. Former law professor Kais Saied went on to mount what his critics have called a coup in 2021. He suspended Tunisia's parliament before giving himself the power to rule. By decree, he then scrapped the country's judicial council, dissolved Tunisia's already suspended parliament, and fired 57 judges before enlarging his powers even further. After a constitutional referendum, these people, some sub-Saharan migrants, others members of Tunisia's minority black population, were forced to flee their accommodation and jobs after an incendiary racist speech in February by President Said. Growing attacks on migrants across Tunisia have followed, but the same weekend an EU delegation arrived in the country to discuss giving his government more than 100 million euros to help humanely stop migrants. Crossing to Europe, a deal since formally agreed, Kais Saied suddenly displayed a newfound fondness for the people it so recently accused of ruining. Tunisia, despite the new EU money, this heavily indebted country's economy continues to nosedive. And unrest is slowly growing. This group of striking delivery workers, same rising prices and stagnant wages, leaves them unable to feed their families, even when working 7 days a week. President Said has been very successful in suppressing opposition, but he's had a much tougher time keeping prices down, and here in this market in central Tunis, that's causing great sufferings. Traders here say wholesale prices are rising so fast that many can't afford to buy what they sell anymore. Many people suffer and cannot even afford a sandwich, some sleep under pavement, and others search through garbage for food. There are people who cannot find medicine. My heart goes out to them. Many staples like sugar, rice, oil, and flour are becoming hard to find. Never mind a fraud at some potentially life-saving medicines for the treatment of critical heart and kidney diseases are no longer available, forcing doctors to advertise on social media for people traveling abroad to bring some home with them. Sub-Saharan migrants desperate to leave the country and have been joined by thousands of impoverished Tunisians who've given up hope. The IMF has offered the government a nearly 2 billion euros bailout on the condition that it scraps costly food subsidies and slims down the country's huge civil service. But President Said has refused, knowing that doing so could spark an uprising against him, just like the one that toppled his predecessor Ben Ali in 2011. All of which has left many asking if this heralds the death of democracy for a country that had inspired so many. First female political prisoner was finally released from jail earlier this month, yet many other opponents of President Kais Saied remain behind bars. It seems Tunisians continue to face a stark choice between creeping dictatorship or return to anarchic democracy, foreign.